Gosh. Hello guys. Hello, welcome back to my YT channel. Oh my gosh. Kaloka. Sorry guys, I have to set up first my whiteboard for proper discussion. Okay? So actually it's my fault. Then why I didn't adjust it before doing the live stream. Oh my gosh. Tao lang po. Because actually I didn't plan to vlog today, but what comes in my brain says I have to. Okay? Because, you know, it's been a long time that I did not do the vlogs. Right? Oh my gosh. Okay. So we have done the engineering equations. Actually, there's a lot. Okay. So engineering equations, particularly related to science, we discussed already the Bernoulli equation. Okay, in relation to the Pythagorean theory, like that. And then we have the continuity equation, the Reynolds number, like that. So, and a whole lot more. Now we go back to basic. Okay, because if we have the overall material balance, ano ba topic ito? Okay. What's the topic? Expression of concentration. Oh my gosh. Expression of concentration. So, what we will remember is ano lang siya, the basic one. Oh my gosh. When ako ni-introduce akong self, because you know me already, right? Okay. So, expression of concentration starts with, okay, C. Okay, so we mean C, that is concentration of capital C. Ganon. Okay. C is equals to the number of moles over the volume. This is moles, okay, per liter. Okay? Moles per liter. Okay? So, muna siya metabo. Or this could be denoted as capital M. Okay? And then this is also molar. Okay? Usually you can see this in the laboratory, room. In your, let us say, in your chemistry laboratory, qualitative and quantitative chemistry laboratory, something like that, okay? So you can see this capital M or molar. So that could mean molarity, the moles of solute per liter of solution, okay? So, liter of solution would be the mass of solute plus the mass of solvents. You convert that to liter. Okay? So, it could be liter of solute plus liter of solution. Ganon. Okay? Naanad mamog ko sa weight fraction and mass fraction because these stuffs are usually used in higher, chemistry equations, particularly in unit operations, right? Okay, so kasagaran dito mga kuan magod sa mga weight fraction, mass fraction. So nibalik man kog chemistry, general chemistry lecture, right? So this denominator refers to the solution. Okay, and this numerator refers to the solute. Okay, like that. Solution, maklaro dili. Gamay ra kayo no? Solution is equals to volume of the solute in terms of liters. Okay, so I must put subscript Li plus of the solute. Ganan. Plus V of the solvent. Okay, like this. Okay. Now, usually guys, in the computation of the expression of concentration, there is always a basis of calculation. Something like that. Shall we say 100 ml, 1000 ml. It depends on the situation of the problem you are facing. But usually 100 ml. Okay, basis of calculation. And then given the percentage by volume. Okay, percentage by, for example, what is the percentage by volume of nitrogen in the atmosphere? How can you compute that one? Okay, so you will calculate. How can you calculate that one? Tang, 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 tang. The question goes like this. Question number one, chemistry. Okay. Ganun, di ba? Mga quiz bowl, ganun talaga. Let's say we will imagine ourselves that we join science fair or science quiz ball, particularly chemistry. Okay, the question goes like, question number one, calculate the percentage by volume of nitrogen in the atmosphere. Oh, di ba? So, wala kakabaw. Okay, wala kakabaw. So, ano yung pagkuan? So, actually, hindi na ka mag-complete ng higayon na. Because by theory alone, it is given by God that there is 79% by volume of nitrogen in the atmosphere. Okay, atmosphere. What you'll notice guys, if there is no given at all, there's no data at all, it could be a theory question. Though asking for figures or numbers, inana siya, tricky part, and you will come to think, what's the given for this? No, it's not, it's a theory, for example, like that, right? So this is atmosphere, atmosphere. We mean of atmosphere, that is our, okay, environment, the air, okay, the air, to the air, like that. So air, here specifically because we don't mention other gases. For example, there's no hazardous air pollutants, you know that one? HAP. There are at least, based on my memory recall, there's at least mga 300 kapin siguro to siya, but I'm not sure. Okay, 300 plus hazardous air pollutants or airborne contaminants. Okay, due to that fact, we cannot obtain an oxygen gas which is perfect 21% by volume. Okay, I will explain why. So air normally composed of nitrogen gas plus the oxygen gas. Maorigin siya ang component sa air in the atmosphere, nothing else. If you talk about the natural, okay, there's no contamination or artificial gases exist in our atmosphere. So it's gonna be 79% by volume of nitrogen. Guys, memorize this, okay? 21% of oxygen. Okay, now take note. I told you a while ago, 21% oxygen gas will vary because of hazardous air pollutants, contaminant gases, airborne gases in the atmosphere, the carbon dioxide, the greenhouse gases, the carbon monoxide, okay, ganun sa chupa-chuchu, the chromic oxides, okay, the sulfur dioxide, the laughing gas. You know laughing gas? Laughing gas is dinitrogen oxide. Okay, that's the laughing gas. And we have also, that's N2O, right? And we have also nitrous oxides, that NO, right? And we have also NO2, nitrogen dioxide. Okay? All about oxides added with other, let's say, elements, metals, or other reactive gases. So those are excess gases in the atmosphere, and then it will become hazardous gases, so it calls hazardous air pollutants. Okay? So this is minimum 21% perfect. It could be lower down to, let us say, 20.8, 20.7, 20.19, blah, 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 so on. So it will not become deficient in oxygen level. That's why being an occupational safety health professional, we need to conduct gas tests in all confined spaces because these oxygen molecules is can really be captured by other gases because this is highly reactive. Okay, so I told you over and over again, oxygen gas, aside from flammability hazard rating, it is very reactive to other elements. Could either be a metals or a gas or whatever, chuchu, something like that. Okay? Ganun siya. Nung gamay lang din siya ang oxygen. Muna mag-conduct the gas test. That is environmental monitoring in the atmosphere or the air. Okay. Now, so ang 79%, as you can notice, will never change. Because as I told you, nitrogen gas is a noble gas. It's an inert gas. It is non-reactive gas. And it is not flammable. Okay. Usually, if it is not flammable, it could have also a characteristic of being non-flammable and noble, meaning to say unreactive or inert gas. Okay? Ganun siya sa chemistry. Inert gas is the same as noble gas, is the same as an unreactive gas, will never react to anybody else, something like that. Okay? So, it depends also to some rare light gas that it will react. For example, hydrogen gas, right? And 2 nitrogen gas plus H2 is equal to 2 moles of ammonia that we use now in our production of fertilizers, something like that. And then that's it. And it's also used as a preservatives in some foods. Okay, the nitrogen fixation in the food. Okay, nitrogen fixation process in different foods. They have to put nitrogen in it, preservatives, so that it will last for how many years? Especially for frozen foods. Okay? Preservatives, food preservatives. Naging na siya yung mga nitrogen fixation or whatever. Okay? Muna siya. Okay? Diba? Kaya, paano siya unreactive? So that's why it will last for how many years? Because it will not react to anybody else. Or else, it could be an oxygen as your preservative. Right? There's a purpose behind that. So the characteristic of a preservative, it will last for how many years? We need to say inert, non-reactive. Right? Get the point? Because if you have a reactive preservative, then it will cause fire. Immediately. It will catch fire immediately. You get the point? So that way, the preservatives are non-reactive or non-flammable, something like that, okay? Due to the characteristic of being an inert gas. Okay, 79% by volume of nitrogen and 21% of oxygen. So let's say spontaneous chemical reaction. Spontaneous, meaning to say natural process of the content of air in the atmosphere that God gave to us freely, assuming that there's no contamination gases. Okay. For example, perfect in atom atmosphere, there's no gases, there's no carbon monoxide released by the cars, okay, or any jet, airplane, it produces excess gas. Okay, the petroleum industry, the gas plants, the power plants will produces gases, and these gases will react to the 21% by volume of oxygen molecules, and so it will become lesser, as I told you over and over again. But the nitrogen gas will never be affected because it is inert, still 79%. Okay? You get the point? So that's gonna be like that. So how can we configure this 79% for this nitrogen gas? Okay, so we assume 100 ml of the solution, ideal solution of nitrogen gas and oxygen gas. 100 ml. Okay, so basis of calculation. Ano siya gitawag og basis of calculation in stoichiometric calculations. I think this is very basic in chemistry, right? Actually, wala mo to do in stoichiometry, but stoichiometry na siya. Ano mo compute og mga ingani sa chemistry. Okay? Stoichiometric na siya, or stoichiometry or chemical calculations. Okay? All computations in chemistry are called calculations or stoichiometry calculations because refers to the stoichiometric amounts in your reactants and your products, something like that. Okay? Okay. So, muna siya, 79% nitrogen. So, di ba? Percentage na siya. So, percentage by volume. Ganon. Percentage by volume of nitrogen gas, ganon, is equals to the volume of nitrogen in the numerator, okay, ganon, over the volume of the solution, okay? So this percentage pa siya, later or times ano mo siya 100. Okay, so volume of N2, ganun chuba-chuchu, okay, percentage is equal to, okay, volume of the solution is 100 ml. Okay? And the volume of N2 you don't know, right? Volume of N2 you don't know. And there is a percentage given already, which is 79% nitrogen by volume that God gave to us, our Creator. Okay? Like that. So that is 79%. So 79% is equals to the volume of N2 over 100 ml. Therefore, volume of N2 is equals to 0.79 times 100. Because 79% is just 0.79. Okay? By multiplying it by 100. So it will become 79 ml. So there is 79 ml of nitrogen in our atmosphere if we will use milliliter as our basis of calculation. Now, it will also change if our basis of calculation will be 1 letter, 1,000 letter. It depends on the question of the problem. Okay, for example, in the future, what is the volume of nitrogen in milliliter in our atmosphere? Di ba walay given? Mabuang na lang kagunahon na way given, pero na-siya value. Tinamang kay theory ana agward na 79% by volume ng nitrogen, 21% by volume of oxygen is equals to 100% by volume of that in the atmosphere or in our air. So ganun siya kasayon. Simple lang siya. Kumukumpit ko, what is the volume of oxygen in liters in the atmosphere? Ganun liters na siya. So imong basis of calculation could either be 1 liter. Okay? Ganun siya. Kung makita man mo sa choices or multiple choice. Okay? So, if your answer will be on the bracket of, let us say like this, so it was assumed that your solution, ideal solution of the air is 100. Okay? Kinaman siya sa choices. A, 79 ml. B, ganun siya, chucho. Mailhan man mo unsa na siya na basis calculation, imong gi-assume tungod pangita nimo sa choices, nara siya dito ang answer. Now, kung wala dito ang answer, it could have been gi-assume sa question na ang imong solution either 1,000 ml na po. Okay? Like that. It depends sa situation na imo yung gamitin mong utok. Time. Hindi mo na siya kalimi, guys. Okay? It's not constant all the time na we should assume our basis of calculation is 100 ml. Though, it is generally like that all the time in chemistry, right? 100 ml and 100 grams. But sometimes also, it could be 1,000 grams. It could be 1,000 ml. It depends on the situation. Okay? So, you could detect that because of the choices, of the answer, like that. If that is a multiple choice. Now, if it is not a multiple choice question, it could have been given in your problem. Let's say, one actually to assume 100 ml of solution. Assume 1,000 ml of solution. Ganon. But if there's no assumption in your problem, then mag-trial and error ka sa i-assume. Start with the most common, which is the 100 ml. Okay? And later na ako mamachuba-chucho. Okay? Especially if the choices are ml. Okay? And then if wala dito sa choices, na-assume na ka 100, so try 1,000. Okay, may aral din siya per me. Okay? So usually 100 bila siya per me. Ay, kung sa mass siya, 100 grams. And then sa siya, milliliter, 100 po siya. Ganon. Muna na ito sa itong brain cells. Okay. Muna siya na. 79% by volume of nitrogen and 21% by volume of oxygen. Mara kaya po na siya ang sa oxygen. Mara na yung buhaton. Okay? Tingnan ko nga. Calculate the volume of oxygen in milliliters in air or in the atmosphere. So, could either be, mag-assume ka nga 100 ml ang ideal air or mag-assume po ka nga 1,000 ml ang ideal air. Ganon, chucho. Okay. muna siya situation sa sa solubility and expression of concentration in the atmosphere. Now, kung naimulubog dito guys, sa amin na pagkahigon mo naimulubog. Kung naimulubog dito nga mga universal gas constant, ganun-ganun, hindi na gamit aning chemistry nga basic na kaayo. Magamit ka itong PV in RT. Okay? Kailangan siya universal gas constant. Dili na siya ma-apply. Kaya mo yun siya ipasok. Di ba niyo mapasok ang universal gas constant dari ari? You get the point? So, mag-treat na ko pag ideal gas solution or ideal air solution in the atmosphere. If the problem have a given of the universal gas constant, chuchu, pressure, volume, number of moles, and temperature. But sa kanya, kung tingin mo yung example, huwag mo ko siya ihatag niya, naman siya, calculate the volume of oxygen gas in the atmosphere. And there's no given at all. Okay, so ayun yung pugsa katang PV in RT. Okay, daghan man kayo siya mga chupa-chuchuk nga mga quantities na ay pressure, na ay volume, na ay number of moles, na universal gas constant. Ganun niya. Kanabi siya, dependent ba siya sa temperature? May ana. Dependent sa temperature, dependent sa pressure, but ang akong question, wala din siya nga nag-dependent sa temperature or pressure. Muna, mo gamit yung kaan siya dito. So, kanaway lubog ng question mo, siya ang gamiton. Ha? Kaya sometimes, kung anak mo siya, calculate the volume of nitrogen gas at 20 degrees Celsius. Klaro na kayo, hindi mo gamiton because there's a temperature parameters and the pressure parameters. Ato ka sa katong bulog na kanya equation which is the ideal gas equation. PV is equals to nRT. Okay? Ideal na siya. Okay? Yung ideal man po siya sa atmosphere. Ideal because God gave us ideal. You know, perfect. Without any stain, S-T-A-I-N, without any flaw, F-L-A-W, without any errors, I mean perfection, that's the meaning of ideal. Okay? I want to have an ideal woman, I want to have an ideal man, meaning close to perfection, behave in perfection. So actually, ideal gas, ideal solution, ideal air is a perfect gas or perfect gas or a real gas because a real gas and a perfect gas behaves ideally. Ganon. So pareho na siya bilin ha, ideal gas, perfect gas, and real gas. Okay, the opposite will be the non-ideal gas, okay, the non-real gas, and the imperfect gas. Okay? But usually na problem solving, gamitan yun mga hingana nga kuan, ideal, gano'n. So, panagsara ka siya mo gamit ng mga real. But what I'm trying to is, there's another terms for that. Do not rely with the term ideal. Okay? For example, na problem sa unit operations, it will say, a perfect gas goes into the orifice meter or a venturimeter with a velocity of like this, with a flow rate of like this. Calculate the volume when it goes out to the outlet of the venturimeter. Ganon, maglibog na ka. Kaya ang giingon nito, perfect gas man siya. Okay, but perfect gas, ideal gas, and real gas are just the same meaning. Okay, so i-treat mo siyang ideal. So, compressibility factor Z is equals to 1. Okay, so pressure times molar volume over the universal gas constant times T. Because we can predict the ideality of a gas because of the compressibility factor Z. Okay, so if the compressibility factor Z is equal to 1, therefore, we conclude that this type of a gas is an ideal gas, perfect gas, and a real gas. It is not a non-ideal gas, or a non-real gas, or the imperfect gas. Ganon! Okay? Ang terms, gawin na ito ilimit sa usara ka kung aspeto. We should go to other aspects kay kung ano siya, grow during the future examination. Ano siya. Okay? Muna siya metabo. Pero kasagaran gamit ito ka ng mga idea na chupa-chucho. Okay, pero parang sanasa yung mga real gas, yung gano'n. Okay? Okay, muna siya ha. Memorize mo siya per, mo na ang atmosphere. Okay? Now, kinamantay air, muna itong kuan sa concentration sa molarity, no? Kinamantay air, and then, ingon din kala air. Kinamantay moles, sa numerator. Hala, if I have a moles in the numerator, so nasa tayo mga posibleng formula sa numerator. So, muna siya ang, relate siya dito sa molar mass. Okay, muna siya technique. Makakita ka mo yung ani nga kuan dayon mo ang iyang formula nga related ana niya. Okay, i-maximize mo ba? Dili ka mo steady ani. Kaya kanang number of moles, relate mo na siya sa molar mass. Okay? So for example, what is the concentration of nitric acid? Ganon. Okay? If the mass of the nitric acid is 20 grams, wala ba yan? I-convert pa na mo siya moles. Hindi mo siya maditso ba? Okay mo na siya ikuan. So, number of moles mo na siya ang molar mass. Okay? Molar. Dito ba tuluan na mo tayo kamo ani? Wala pa. Molar mass. Okay? Basta mag-una gani ang molar. Sa itong rule, if molar, molar density, molar enthalpy, molar flow rate, ano pa, molar heat, molar entropy, molar gives free energy, mga ganun ba chucho, di ba? Molar heat specific heat capacity. What comes on your mind? There's a mole, M-O-L-E, in the denominator. Okay, for example, molar heat. So the mole will be in the denominator. So what is the unit of it? A lot. It could be a BTU, British Thermal Unit, kilocalorie, calorie, joules, ganon, So it could be BTU per mole. Okay, kung ano siya? Molar heat. And the unit of heat energy is BTU man siya. So ang siyang prefix na ibutang sa primero nga describe sa mass, this is an adjective describing a noun in English. Our noun is a mass and our adjective is a molar. This molar describes what type of a mass we have. So that is molar. That's adjective in English. Now, the adjective here, or the prefix here before the mass is your denominator. Denominator. It's in the bottom of a fraction like this. Okay, denominator. So this is mole. And then the second term nga noun, mauna imong ipa-add to sa numerator. So manamingon ka nga grams. So grams per mole is the unit of molar mass. Ganon ang pagsagot yun kay imo dyan siya i-troubleshoot, imo dyan siya timanan because this is really the technique. Okay, to become registered engineer, especially chemical engineering. Kaya makamaudyo ka sa mga yang sikot. Okay, it's not enough to pass subject kung imudyo siyang sabton. Okay? So ako siya tuwad-tuwad makuha rin mo guys. Okay, it doesn't have to be very intelligent as long as you will know the mechanism, okay, the method how to, to understand that one. Dali na ka siya sabton, okay? Okay. Though at first we are struggling, I'm struggling, really. Okay, but as the time goes by, I'm researching, going to the library, getting 5 books to 10 books, like that, daily alatul. Inside the library, I am a very patient student. I am very, very hardworking student when I was in college, from first year to 5th year college. During my vacant time, I will go to the library, pick 5 to 10 books during my break time. Really, it's totally different with other students. They will never do this, but in my part, I'll do this. I'll do that, sorry. Okay, so kaya huwag mo ko tuluyan na ako just siyang style in order for me to learn more. I will not depend in classroom instruction really. Okay? My classroom instruction is a guide for me to learn. Okay, but the additional learning is on my own effort. Independent effort to go to research to the library because sa una wala pa mauso ang online, wala pa man koy cellphone nga kuan di pobre di kay wala pa cellphone na mga online wala pa yung mga YouTube, wala pa yung mga Facebook, siguro na siya before but due to we are living in a poverty level without scholarship ko, okay, at that time, academic scholar, because I don't have, presidential scholar, not academic scholar. Okay? Wa man ko yung mga resources na mga gadget or technology. So sa libro na lang ko. Okay, pwede pa na sa una no, mga YouTube. At this point in time, they are very, very lucky our students because there's YouTube, there's Facebook, there's a lot. But before nothing, namagid mi sa una. Yung mga kuan. Karon YouTube, very good in discussion really, you can understand really more than the instructors in the classroom. Really. Because I research also in, sometimes I'll go to the, I'll search in the YouTube also, mga discussion sa mga Michigan University, Calgary University, mga ganun-ganun siya, Harvard University. Kasi magtaka po ko sa mga Indians. They're very, very good. Indians University is very, very good in chemical engineering, really. Okay? And then, ako din siya ituyok-tuyok mga international sources, sometimes in YouTube, like that. And also, of course, Philippine educational system in chemical engineering, UP Adamson, mga ganun-ganun, chucho. Okay? UP Los Baños, UP Diliman, mga ganun-ganun siya. Okay? Muna siya, ako i-search, ako siyang i-confirm. Maricon. Maricon. Marites, ano ang latest? Maricon. Mars, confirm. Confirm siya na ako. Ako siyang i-validate of so many sources. Okay, not only one. Though I have my own stock knowledge, I still have to verify whether it is correct. Since I do the on-the-spot vlogging, guys, just like this, I never plan to have a vlog on live stream right now. Sometimes I could commit error. Okay? It cannot be denied. Nag-relay ako sa akong stock knowledge, sa akong, acquired knowledge. So, muna siya natabo, I have to verify talaga siya. Okay? That's why I keep on telling you guys, please object me. Okay, if I have, technical errors in my discussion, then I have to review it, and I will issue an erratum statement in my job description. Error meaning errors. Okay, then it's gonna be like this, blah blah blah, so and so. Because sometimes I kept on talking, I missed some, you know what I mean, right? Okay, so just tell me in the comment section. Sometimes I got wrong really. Okay. Okay, nobody's perfect ba yan, diba? Ganon. Okay, so molar mass, grams per mole. So, another example. So, nag-check example lang ngayon in fairness. So, let's say enthalpy, the heat content. Okay, molar enthalpy. Molar, or shall we say molar heat? Okay, basically enthalpy is a heat content. Okay. Muna siya. Molar enthalpy. So what is the adjective? Molar. So it should be in the denominator, mol. What is the numerator? Enthalpy. So it could be BTU. Okay, BTU per mol is the unit of molar enthalpy. Why I emphasize this? Because in problem solving, guys, they will give you a given that is like this only. Okay, BTU per mole, ganun. And then you are not used to it. Still, you have to multiply in the molecular weight, divide by the molecular weight, so that you can come up with this unit. Mabitik ra ka imong answer, BTU ra gyud siya. And then you still have to multiply that by molecular weight. So, kanina lang din siya imong gamiton. Okay? Kaya kanina, in this equation, guys, makakuha naman yung number of moles in igayuna. For example, molar mass, grams per mole. So, mole in algebra. Mole is equal to grams over the molecular weight or the molar mass. Because molar mass technically is also equal to the molecular weight. Basic. Molecular weight, atomic weight is just equal to molar mass. Okay, I think kung kalibugan mo nga na ha. Atomic weight, molecular weight, and molar mass is just the same in concept. Now, if the problem using molar mass, automatic that is the molecular weight. Ayaw
Bluetooth device is ready to pair.
Ayaw paabutan nga mo, he's good to check molecular weight. Kinaanad ka sa term ng molecular weight mo. Ang molar mass, mawasan na siya atomic weight. Okay? Or muna siya. Now, atomic weight apply to one element. One element.
Bluetooth device is ready to pair.
One element. One metal. One non-metal. Meaning to single ra siya. And then for the compound composed of a lot of elements like this or metals. So that could be now your molecular weight. So we speak pala molecular weight, two or more elements banded together. That is the right or the precise in saying what is a molecular weight all about. But you will never say the applicability. Will never say, for example, if I have hydrogen gas which has an atomic weight of 2.018, something like that. So that 2.018 is the atomic weight. It's not the molecular weight. Why? Because hydrogen gas is single. Only one. Now, if it is bonded with oxygen gas, it will become a water, right? H2 plus O2 is equals to the molecule of water. Now, it will become now a molecular weight because one element bonded to another element, a compound. So, this, ano kapag sabot molecular weight compound, atomic weight meaning element single, or mo na siyang pagsabot. But this atomic weight and molecular weight is just equal to molar mass. So meaning to say, molar mass is a general term applicable to molecular weight and atomic weight. So specific ang atomic weight o ang molecular weight. The general term is the molar mass. Okay, so if I will say, the molar mass of hydrogen, it's okay because it's general. But to be precise, I will say the atomic weight of hydrogen. Now, if I have water, the general also is molar mass. But to be precise, technically, I should say the molecular weight of water because it is a compound already. Okay? Grammar po siya, no? We have grammar in chemistry. We have also grammar in English. We have also grammar in chemistry. Okay? The applicability. Dito magpataka, ha? Okay, ano siya? Okay, labi ng mga bracket math, Diyos ko, pataka na lang sila sa mga terminology sa usahay. Okay, lagi, bracket math. Okay, muna siya. Okay, going back, mana na siya atong moles per liter. Sa pa man siya, makuha rin natin siya sa PV&RT ha. PV&RT. Sa oras ko, bukan ako kay magsikog discuss diri, if I will make this so serious, this day is not enough to discuss all the equations in science. Really. Diba? So many science equations plus mathematical equations. Okay? Kamante ka magsikog vlog, mukalit lang alas 9, uy, ginoo ko taas na akong vlog. Charot. Okay, muna siya. PV&RT. This is the most commonly used gas equation. Okay, ideal gas equation or the general gas equation. This is, I think, related to, if I'm not mistaken, guys, correct me if I'm wrong again. This comes up because of Clausius-Clapeyron theory. Clausius-Clapeyron theory. Okay? You know that guy? So in second law of thermodynamics, right? Okay? Actually, guys, kung ano lang siya, guys. Actually, di ba ginitsura din siya PV&RT, but actually, in the second law of thermodynamics, work is equal to pressure times volume. Actually, this is the work in siya primero. Work is equal to nRT. But since work is equal to pressure times volume, the second law of thermodynamics, the Clausius-Clapeyron experiment or theory, it will now become PV. Giyag-yag na yun siya, gibungkag na yun siya. Then as a student, you should also research that this PV is just only a word. Okay? So, sa to pa, ang parent equation for this PV&RT is work is equals to nRT because work is equals to pressure times volume. You get the point? In second law of thermodynamics. But sige na lang, kaya may gigawin sa itong mga maestra diretso, ang PV&RT naman dyan, huwag niya gisulti kung giindikan ng PV. Right? Isulti na niya kung ang topic po niya, thermodynamics. Bumalis tayo sa mga instructors. Okay, as what I observed, style of the instructors is just like this. Focus na sila sa present na topic. Dili nila i-relate itong mga uban. Okay? So, if you will become an effective instructor, you will correlate everything, what's on your brain cells, in which you can help the students to understand better. Okay? It's not only enough for the books. You should correlate, okay, everything. Kutob sa mga connect, hala, pasok. Para you will feed the students with maximum learning. Okay? That's gonna be the technique, okay? So, wala siyang to become an effective instructor, an effective professor. You should maximize, i-feed na mo siya sa students. Okay? Kaya ang uban, di good siya mukuan guys, really. You know what I mean? Okay? Siguro kay kapuyan po sila or whatever, or time, gamay na kay ang time, 1 hour lang, gano'n, chupa-chucho. Okay? So, muna siya guys ha. So, PVNRT. Pressure times volume is equal to the number of moles times universal gas constant times T, the temperature in terms of generally Kelvin. Now, let's investigate one by one. Mataas kayo. Ganun, sa una ko guys, when I was in college, if there is a certain equation, such like this, I will investigate everything. The pressure, the volume, the number of moles, the universal gas constant, the T. And then I will go to the books. What is a pressure? What is a volume? What is the number of moles? RT. I will never contented showing this equation only by the instructor. Again, sleep in the room and again going back like that. The routine is just like that, right? Watching TV, ganon, and then talking with the families, ganon. So I'm not contented with that. If there's a certain equations, you have to investigate one by one. Okay? And then if you cannot understand, I will go to the library, something like that. And then I will bring books from Natalia Batalso Cebu, CIT, to City of Naga Cebu daily ala tool. Because on my time, I'll never do the boarding house when I was in college. I'll never stay in a boarding house. I always go home, go to the school, vice versa. School, home, school, home, school, home, school, home. You know why? Because, I still have to fetch water. Okay? Because we belong to the poverty level, I have to still fetch water so that we can have water in our kitchen. Something like that. I will never cry. Okay, so that's the reality. I still have to work on the household chores, not only in the school. So it's not possible for me to stay in the boarding house. Okay, and at the time also my nieces and nephews are very, very, very small children. I have to sleep with them because their parents also are working. Okay, ganon. So that's the reason did you go boarding house. And I don't like also boarding house. Okay? And even though inside the vehicle, I study inside the vehicle, inside the car, and going, passenger car, and going to CIT, going back to the, what you keep palampas ato do? Really? Even though I'm riding, doon ka na naman, o 9C, o 6C, o 4C ka nang padung-padung. Padung sa kulon, o palit kong mga project. Sige, hindi akong pupuan sa akin. So, nag-andar ang kuan, ang jeep. Grabe lang kayo. Grabe ito ako buwis buhay dito ako Okay, muna siya natabo. Okay, nga. Moto, enjoyable kayo, kaya ganahan ako matuon. Okay? What ko gipalampas. Okay? Muna siya ma-attitude na kung yung anan yung pagkabuhaton permi, okay, nag-give you chance magpasar sa mga future examination. Di inyo man siyang i-culture. Okay? You do that as a habit and a culture even though not an examination purpose. Okay? In daily attitude, something like that. You do it as your culture, as your habit, then even though there's no examination, then by the time examination comes, it will become easier for you to analyze or to especially kung mga basic education ng mga questions. Okay? Purya-buyag na lang itong mga lisod kayo na mabuang ka. Okay? Nabiyag dyan, makabuang. Okay? Dagan ba yan questions and problems in chemical engineering na makabuang. Okay? Di dyan mo makuha sa masaon. Okay? Magbut-buhat na lang kag equations na imuhara. Okay nga? Ikuan tanan. Pasok. As much as you could, derive, because so dyan yung magka-digit siya makuhaan, lisod kayo. Okay? ma-feel ra na ninyo na in a chemical in a board examination. Na, so mali, uy, sugat ani. Okay? But admittedly sad noon, mga ano lang siya, mga let's say 15 to 20 questions lang, more or less, because 80% sa mga questions gitudlo yun noon yun siya. Okay? But what I mean, agree lisod kayo mga let's say 20 items out of 100, ganun siya, or pataas pa ana, yung 30K, ituyo man lang nila, di ba, kay 80% naman ang kon sa passing Jude. Okay? So, gituyo nila nga, di kaya daghan ang lisod. Daghanon nila ang medyo easy to average. Yunan. Nasa sila yung average na murag lisod ang feeling. Pero average siya to siya. Pero lisod ang feeling kay murag daghan kay siya gisamok-samok na sa question na murag ma-feel sa ubang students na lisod siya. Included me. Okay? But actually, it's easy to solve. Daghan na kayo samok-samok ng mga data na irrelevant siya dito. Usay biya, tinunting biya ka ng daghan kayong mga this is the real story. There are a lot of given, tempting ka hindi mo siya ipasok sa inyong equation. That's why you still have to find another equation na you try to incorporate that. But actually, it's not. Okay, you have used the equation and then the given will be mapasok na siya nimo dito. Dahil na ito ganoon na akin, mapasok naman dito. And then there's choices there, then bingo. Kung ano, sa college, ngita ko pa, pasok na ko tanan. Dili nga na, ay. Okay? Lagi, later na ako nakarealize na nahuman ako sa eskwela sa college. Hindi siya inanaon dapat ang pagsabot. Okay? Na if there are problem solving, you need to apply all in the what's in the given. Sometimes pala, reference lang siya, gano'n, or wala siyang gamit ba. Okay? Muna siya. Okay? But anyhow, okay ra? Okay guys? Bislish, Bisaya plus English. Okay. Kaloka? Time shot brought to you by Powdered Alaska Milk. 96.3 Double Rock! Ganon. Okay, going back. So, himay-may. Pressure. Force over area. Force. Newton. Area. Meter squared. Newton per meter squared is a unit of a pressure. Then Newton per meter squared is also equal to Pascal. Okay. Pascal. Because Mr. Pascal discovered this. Okay. PA. Okay. Ganon. So, manang pressure. Volume. Himay-may. Diba? Volume. So, where can you obtain volume? It is from the density equals to mass over volume, right? So, density, mass over volume. So, it could have been, so density, mass over volume is equal to, okay, volume, mass over density. Oh, ganon. Okay, so grams per ml, cancel the grams, then you have ml. So, each value, pasok. Ipasok naman sa pressure, ipasok naman sa volume. Okay. Number of moles. Gidisasan ako ang number of moles. Number of moles, daghan kayo na siya kuhaon guys. Nung makasabot yun ka. Okay, going back to basic. What is a mole? Okay, so BS Chemistry graduate pasok, or BS Chemistry students pasok, Chemical Engineer students pasok, Chemical Engineers pasok, mga graduate na sa Chemical Engineering. What is a mole? A mole is a unit of the amount of substance. So that is a mole. Okay? Again, a mole, M-O-L-E, is a unit of the amount of a substance. Okay? Unit siya. Okay, unit, U-N-I-T, of the amount of the substance. Ay, correct ang word na amount. Okay, para makuha din yung definition niya. Unit po siya. Pasok dahil yung brain cells. What is a mole? It is a unit of the amount of a substance. Ganon! Since substance is varying, it could be a liquid, a gas, okay, and a solid. Or it could be a homogeneous mixture, a heterogeneous mixture. Or it could be a homogeneous solution, an heterogeneous solution. It could be an alkyl solution. Okay, ganun siya. Wala siya. So, number duha. There are two ways how to compute the number of moles coming from the molar mass, which I discussed a while ago. Di ba tingon ko nga molar mass is equals to mass over the mole. So, mole is equals to grams over the molar mass. Most of that, pwede na rin ipasok diri-ari. Or pwede sa kanin in terms of concentration. Ito kung gi-express din nga sa Fermiro. So, concentration is equals to the number of moles over the volume. Okay. So, ipasok sa dami mo dito sa tagsa. Okay. Now, universal gas constant. Ganun siya. Di ba, guys, all you have to do, guys, no? So, to be honest with you guys, you have to be patient. For me, ako yung na matikdan, that's why I become a registered chemical engineer, is the attitude of being a patient student. Patient. Such like this. There are 5 quantities that I have to break one by one, scrutinize one by one. It's not enough for me to memorize only this one. I have to one by one learn this quantity, the definition, who discovered, and everything. Ganun siya. Expound pa dyan ko ba, guys ba? Unsa ni siya sa tagsa muna akong culture when I was in college. Okay? Though it's boring, murag di jud ganahan ang uban kay murag ako jud gipihirapan ako sarili pero I love what am I doing. So that's it. If you love what you are doing, then it will not be you know, what do you call this? Dili siya bati or dili siya kapoy. If you love what you are doing. Okay? Ganon. Universal gas constant, hala. So, actually guys, there's a lot of value of actually this is gas constant only. But to be precise, that is universal gas constant, R, capital R. Okay. Kung sa man yung mga unit niya, when I was in college, I memorized a lot. I memorized at least 4 to 6 units of universal gas constant. Kaya mo man siya ipasok permi sa ideal gas law. Okay, ng equation. I memorized only 2, but before so many. Okay, now only 2. So we have 2. Akong gipili ang ang 0.08205 liter atmosphere mole Kelvin and the 8.3145 ganun siya joules mole per Kelvin. In that 2 units alone of the universal gas constants, you can derive also another units of the universal gas constant. Or you can use this equation to get your universal gas constant with other unit by using consistent unit of pressure, of volume, of number of moles, and T, and cancel, chu, and the simplified unit will be your universal gas constant. Now, what is the technique? When you obtain the unit of universal gas constant, okay, there is, again, a mole in the denominator. Okay, mole in the denominator, or small n in the denominator. Okay, and temperature in the denominator. Okay, mole and temperature in the denominator, and your numerator is a unit of energy. Ganon. Why I emphasize this? So that you can easily understand what you are memorizing. Okay, just like this is on-the-spot vlogging. I do this memorization thing 20 years ago when I was in college. But why until now I can still remember these 2 specific values of universal gas constant? Because I understand it carefully, the rule, something like that. It could have been lost in my brain cells, okay, because it was very long time, right, 20 years ago. Okay, so why it's still retained? Because I understand what I memorized. Okay? Like that. So, ang universal gas constant, guys, capital R. So, you should think that it is the unit of energy in the numerator. So that's why I told you, joules. Okay. Denominator, number of moles. So, mole. Okay? Then, capital T, temperature. So, you will use the standard unit of temperature. Why? Actually, there's a lot. Why? Because you have the capital T beside R, which is the standard unit of the capital T is in Kelvin. And you have to agree with that. You cannot use Celsius here, Rankine, Fahrenheit, because of the reason that in the general gas equation, there is a capital T beside the universal gas constant capital R. And I thank you. Ganon. Okay, so wala siya ang may tabo. Now, if I will choose the another value which is equal to 0.08205 liter atmosphere over more Kelvin, why liter atmosphere? Hala, why liter atmosphere? That is energy, right? Sige, balik-balikan nyo. I want you to learn, guys, the technique. Okay? Okay? Or if you want to become an instructor also in the future, okay, this is very useful. Okay? For example, me, I don't know, after 5 years, after I will become a professor or something in a university, I can still use this talent also in my vlogging and live streaming. Okay? So, we cannot protect our future endeavor, right? Okay? Okay, the only constant in this world is change. O, diba? Oh my gosh. That's a quote. Quote, right? Quote. Or a saying, right? The only constant in this world is change. Okay, going back to the topic, which is a universal gas constant. Okay, now I said, first we will write the value already so that you can memorize it in your brain cells. Okay, capital R. Uy, makita ba niyo ang akong board, guys? Nakakaloka. Actually, I want to vlog in a landscape, but it's not being fitted in the screen. I cannot understand. Okay? So, never mind. So, R is equals to 8.3145. Chararat. Okay, joules, mole, Kelvin. Okay, another unit. Capital R, 0.8205 liter atmosphere mole Kelvin. Take note. What is constant is always the mole Kelvin in the universal gas constant. Muna yung pasok sa inyong brain says, okay sir, the denominator of the universal gas constant is always mole and Kelvin. Nakay-technique. So, ari naman ka magdaog sa numerator. So, ibig sabihin pasok sa inyong brain cells, ang numerator is always the unit of energy. Then, perfect. Okay? Ganon. So, liter atmosphere. Why I say this is the unit of energy? Hala, why? Anybody can explain? Balik na punta. Okay. What is a word? A word? What is an energy? Gonna i-define. What is a power? Sa physics. Physics is a branch of science that deals with the study of matter and energy. Okay? So, muna siya. Remember what is our definition of work, what is the definition of energy, and what is the definition of power, in which I discussed this last 3 days ago in my live streaming, right? Okay, now we have the unit in the numerator, it is liter atmosphere, right? Okay, how can we prove that this is the unit of an energy? Okay, by theory, energy is the capacity to do work. Okay, in algebra, di ba naka-remember mo, we will solve algebraic expression in algebra, especially sa katong mga word problem, Lisa is 13 years old, twice as older than Lito. What is the age of in the future? Ganon. Itong mga clock problem, age problem, mga ganon, di ba? You can still remember, right? O katong mga interest problem nga kuan. Interest is equals to principal rate times time, right? More na ako napasok sa compressors. I'm correct. Interest, capital I. Simple interest lang siya. Based on my brain cells. This is not related to science. This is algebra. Capital I is equals to the principal times the interest rate na R. Okay? And then times T. Okay? Ganon. Interest rate. Okay? Ang R. Diba? Ito, namutang ka. You have a credit card. You have a personal loan. So there must be having an interest rate after 1 year, after 2 years, after 5 years. So this formula will be used. Okay? In money matters. Simple problems. This is not yet compounded interest. Ha? Simple interest lang siya. So I is equals to PRT. Now, muna siya yung tabo. Okay. Energy. Right? Yung nga, energy is the capacity or the ability to do work. Now, in algebra, daghan kayo na siya, guys, ng mga conversion. For example, if we speak about more than, that is plus. Less than, that is minus. Okay? Twice as, blah, 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 that is multiply. Twice as this, twice as this, twice as this, and you let the value of the unknown. So let x, the value of unknown. Let y is equals to the unknown. Muna siya ang technique sa algebra, right? And then ako kay term niya is, or are, was, or were. In English, linking verbs. Okay, in English. Right? Review your English. So we have linking verbs. We have the is, we have the are, we have the was, and we have the were. Was and were are the past tense. Was is the past tense of singular is. Were is the past tense of singular plural are. So kanina siya, in algebra, the symbol will be equal. Muna siya sa worded problem technique. For example, Lisa is twice as also. You have to put equal. Sa is not word. And then Lisa. So you let x, Lisa's age is like x is equal to twice as the age of Lito. So 2 times, gilit din mo si Lito nga L. So 2 times L. Muna siya yung technique sa algebra, ha? So magbalik-balik ko na siya when you go to the higher subjects. At that time, hindi na siya apply sa mga number, kuha na siya sa mga science na siya. Okay? For example, ammonia is lighter than, ganon, lighter than freon. What is the density of freon at 20 degrees Celsius? Ganon. So, imo siya siya i-apply ang is equal, mag-let kag x, mag-let kag y, then ganon chuva chucho. Okay, here, go back sa atong main point. Energy is the capacity to do work. So, mingon ko nga butangan akong equal, mingon ko is. It's the definition, right? Energy is the capacity to do work. So, capital E, I will put equal because that is is capacity to do work. And work is our quantity, not the capacity to do the work. Okay? This is work. Okay, so meaning to say, energy is just equal to work directly. In that definition, again, energy is equal to the capacity to do work and the ability to do the work. So meaning to say, E is equals to W. And we have equation for energy. Do we have a formula and equation of energy, capital E? We have, but sounds complicated. That could be only in the Bernoulli theorem. Bernoulli, potential energy, kinetic energy, blah blah, activation energy in reaction kinetics, right? Activation energy. Chemical engineers, what is activation energy? The lowest minimum energy in order a chemical reaction to proceed. How fast or slow our chemical reaction really is. Okay, ganun siya. Ano yung activation energy in reaction kinetics or chemical reaction engineering. Okay. Now, energy is equal to W. So, meaning to say, we don't have a chemical reaction if we don't have an activation energy. Muna siya, importante sa chemical reaction engineering or reaction kinetics. Okay? And then, basically, this activation energy is tantamount to kinetic energy. Tantamount meaning equal. But this is the specific and precise term in chemical reaction kinetics, not the kinetic energy already. But in general impact of understanding, the activation energy is just also equal to kinetic energy. But the applicability and utilization of the term is not fitted to chemical reaction engineering. Gumagamit ng kinetic energy because kinetic energy are usually used in physics. Okay? Or in the what do you call this one? Yeah, physics. Physics naman kayo sa mga kinetic like usually, right? Diba? Muna siya may tago, guys. Charot! Okay? Everybody, are you still there, mga kapatid, kapamilya, kapuso, kapuso, kajowa, kaver, kaaway, kasosyo, charots. Okay, I still have 30 minutes. 30 minutes na lang, guys. Mubalik na tayo ng energy is equals to work, ha? Okay. Okay. Diba? Hello, guys! Charot. Kloka. Okay. Energy is equals to work. Therefore, energy is tantamount to work or equal to work or similar to work. Something like that. Or it has the same meaning. Okay. Now, energy is equals to work. Then if you try to... Oh my gosh.